Imagine this. It's the summer of 63 BC. The Roman Forum is a furnace of heat and noise. 50,000 Romans pack the stone pavement, their togas white against the glare, their voices a rolling thunder. In the center stands Marcus Livius, once a senator, now trembling in nothing but a transparent linen tunic that clings to his skin like a second mocking layer of shame. His senatorial shoes, those red leather calci that screamed status, are gone. His toga, the purple striped garment that declared him one of Rome's elite, lies in a heap trampled underfoot. His hands are bound behind his back with coarse rope that bites into his wrists. And in his mouth, a wooden bit, the kind used to control horses, forcing his jaw open so he cannot speak, cannot defend himself, cannot even close his lips against the drool that now runs down his chin. A herald stands beside him, unrolling a scroll with deliberate slowness, reading aloud the charges in a voice that carries to the edges of the crowd. Embezzlement of public funds, bribery of magistrates, betrayal of the Senate's trust. After each accusation, the herald pauses. And then it comes a man with a flagrum, a multi-tailed whip tipped with jagged bits of bronze and lead, swings it across Marcus's back. The crowd counts in unison. 1, 2, 3. The first strike tears the thin tunic and the skin beneath. Blood beads instantly. By the 10th strike, Marcus is weeping openly, his body jerking against the ropes. By the 20th, his knees buckle, and he hangs from his bound wrists, his feet scraping uselessly at the stone. By the 30th, he is begging incoherently through the bit, animal sounds that no one can interpret as words, sounds that confirm what the punishment is designed to prove. He is no longer a man, no longer a Roman, no longer anything. The beating stops. The herald announces the completion of the 30 lashes, and then, in front of 50,000 witnesses, Marcus loses control of his bladder. Urine runs down his legs, mixing with the blood pooling on the forum stones. The crowd roars not with anger but with satisfaction. Justice has been served. Marcus Livius survived that day. The wounds would heal. The scars would fade. But 7 days later, he slit his wrists in his bath, not because of the pain, because he could not live in a world where 50,000 people had watched him reduced to something less than human. This was not unusual. This was Roman justice. This was what happened when you violated the social order in a civilization that valued honor above life itself. That believed humiliation was more effective than execution. That believed destroying a person's reputation and dignity was the most complete form of justice available. Smash that like button if you're ready to dive into the darkest rituals of ancient Rome. Subscribe and hit the bell because this story will change how you see punishment forever. Let's go. Roman society in the late Republic and early Empire was a machine built on status, honor, and public perception. Your identity wasn't individual, it was relational. It existed only in the eyes of others. The Latin word was dignitas, and it wasn't abstract. It had concrete markers. Elite Romans with high dignitas sat in the front rows at the theater. They were greeted with bowed heads in the streets. Their opinions swayed Senate votes. They commanded client networks that stretched across provinces. Lose that respect, and you cease to exist socially, even if your heart still beat. Ancestry mattered. A patrician name carried centuries of inherited prestige. A novus homo, a new man, had to claw his way up with military victories and public benefactions. Wealth was crucial, but not vulgar display. You sponsored games, built aqueducts, maintained a household of hundreds. Fall into debt. Your dignitas evaporated. Military success added layers, triumphs, captured standards, enslaved enemies paraded in chains. Public office was the crown, consul, praetor, aedile. Each magistracy conferred permanent status. Personal conduct was scrutinized. Break your word, abandon a client. Grovel to an equal, your honor bled out. And gravitas, that stone-faced seriousness, was the glue. Lose composure in public and you were finished. Even common citizens had honor. A plebeian craftsman took pride in his guild. A merchant guarded his reputation for fair dealing. A legionary valued courage and loyalty to his century. Slaves had the least, but even they had a fragile sense of self. A beaten slave might endure. A broken slave, one who internalized worthlessness, was safe for the master. Rome understood this psychology. Their laws didn't just punish bodies, they destroyed identities. Public humiliation served 5 functions at once. Punish the individual, reinforce hierarchy, entertain the masses, deter future crimes, and bind the community through shared spectacle. A simple execution removed a criminal. A multi-day humiliation ritual rewrote the social order in blood and shame. If you're learning how honor-based societies weaponize shame, hit that subscribe button now. Tell me in the comments, does your culture still use public shaming? Let's keep going. The concept of virtus was the masculine core. Translated weakly as virtue, it meant courage, self-mastery, dominance, and inviolability. A man with virtus could not be touched, dominated, or violated. He acted. Others were acted upon. His body was sacred, untouchable by inferiors. Physical contact initiated by a slave was presumptuous. Being jostled in a crowd was an insult. Violation, whether violent, sexual, or symbolic, destroyed virtus. Women had pudicitia, modesty, chastity, proper feminine comportment. An elite matron's reputation hinged on marital fidelity and public decorum. A whisper of impropriety could ruin her. Lower-class women had looser standards, but even they had shame thresholds. Punishments targeted these gendered cores. Men were feminized. Women were profaned. Both were stripped of the markers that made them Roman. The state had 8 major humiliation categories, each designed to erase a different layer of identity. We'll walk through them with composite characters drawn from Livy, Suetonius, Tacitus, and legal fragments in the Digest of Justinian. These are real practices, reconstructed into human stories. If you want to understand how Rome enforced order through psychological warfare, share this video with someone who thinks history is boring. First, the tunica molesta and public flogging. Marcus Livius's story is composite but accurate. He'd been a senator 15 years, elected via German frontier service, modest games as edile, careful alliances. He owned a townhouse in Rome, a villa in Capua, had a respectable wife and 3 children. He accepted bribes from contractors, small at first, then habitual. He diverted grain funds meant for the poor, telling himself the shortfalls wouldn't be noticed. An ambitious prosecutor traced the ledgers. Witnesses testified. Marcus's defenses collapsed. Convicted. Sentence correctio publica, market day. Forum packed. He arrived in his senatorial toga, white wool, purple stripe. The herald read the verdict. Attendants seized the toga, yanked it away. The crowd jeered. Senatorial shoes removed. Then the tunica molesta, thin, transparent linen. His body outlined for all to see. Elite men controlled who saw their flesh. This exposure, before slaves, women, children, was feminizing. He stood knowing thousands judged his form, mocked his vulnerability. Then the scroll. He had to read his own confession. I, Marcus Livius, betrayed the Senate, the people, my ancestors. His voice broke. Tears fell. The crowd shouted, thief, dog, bound to the whipping post. Wooden bit forced between teeth, preventing speech, reducing him to grunts. The flagrum, 3 thongs, metal tips, 30 lashes, 1, skin tears, 2, blood runs, 10. He screams through the bit, 20. He hangs limp, 30. Urine flows, the ultimate loss of self-mastery. Cut down, forced to crawl the forum's length, attendants kicking, crowd spitting, children throwing filth. He left the space of public life not upright, but on hands and knees, covered in blood, urine, and rot. His wounds healed. His dignitas did not. Senators avoided him. His wife's family demanded divorce. His children were mocked. 7 days later, wrists slashed in the bath. No note. Everyone understood. Like this video if Marcus's crawl hit you hard. Comment, would you choose suicide over public shame? Next, the Cullius execution for parricide. Gaius Publicius, composite, age 32, killed his father in a rage over inheritance. Argument escalated, bronze lamp to the head, father dead, parricide the ultimate crime. The paterfamilias had absolute power. Sons killing fathers threatened the social foundation. Arrested, tried, convicted, sentence, Cullius sewn into a leather sack with dog, rooster, viper, monkey drowned in the Tiber. But first, 3 days of dehumanization. Day 1, stripped naked, given wooden clogs, slave footwear. Dogskin mask tied over face, eye and mouth holes tiny. Vision blurred, breathing labored. Smell of animal hide constant. Paraded through the subura. Herald, Gaius Publicius, parricide, condemned to the Cullius. Crowd pelted with chamber pot contents, rotten cabbage, stones. Children mocked. He stumbled in clogs, fell, was kicked upright. Day 2, dragged the actual sack through the forum, heavy leather, 30 pounds, exhausted him. Then prostrated before his father's ancestral bust. Priests, You are no longer Roman, no longer son, no longer named. Property confiscated, memory erased. Day 3, animals into sack, barking dog, flapping rooster, striking viper, screeching monkey, mask removed. Gaius saw the crowd, the river, stripped fully, forced in. Sack sewn shut, thrown from the bridge, muffled screams, thrashing, biting, clawing, pecking inside. Air gone, sack sank, no body, no burial, no memory. The Cullius deterred for generations. Parents terrified children. Respect your father or the sack. Share this if the animals in the dark chilled you. Arena theatrical executions, damnatio ad ludos. Lucius Corvinus, tax official, embezzled heavily. Sentenced to the Flavian amphitheater. Role, Orpheus. Given lyre he couldn't play, tunic, forest set, crowd of 70,000. He plucked discordantly, sang off-key. Laughter, gates opened. Starved bears and lions, he ran, nowhere to go, mauled alive. Another, adulterer as Pasiphae, wooden cow frame, real bull forced upon him, then torn apart. Women, naked gladiators exposed to beasts or criminals. After Spartacus, 6,000 crucified along the Appian Way, bodies every 40 meters for 120 miles. Before that, forced to reenact revolt as farce, paper crowns, wooden swords, killed for laughs. Arena days were festivals. Families picnicked. Children cheered. Cruelty normalized. Emperors gained popularity with creative deaths. If the bull scene shocked you, like and comment your reaction. Ritualized bodily violation, subigo for cowardice or effeminacy. Sextus Aurelius, centurion, ordered to hold a ridge against Germans. Panicked, ordered retreat, Roman line broke, captured, tribunal, stripped of decorations, torque Falerii vitus, armor removed piece by piece, dressed in woman's stola. Face painted rouge coal, hair ribboned, legion assembled, mocked as wife. Then violation, sources euphemistic. Subactus est. Likely gang rape or symbolic penetration with implements. Executed after beheaded or fustuarium, beaten by comrades. Threat kept soldiers brave. Adulteresses, forced brothel work, then Tarpeian rock. Gendered destruction. Subscribe if Rome's gender policing feels familiar. Servile ladder for rebellious slaves. Davis, household slave. Master falsely accused him of stealing wine, struck him. Davis pushed back, reflex. Arrested. Forum, 20-foot ladder. 12 magistrates on rungs, Davis naked, hands loosely bound. Ordered to climb, kissing each man's feet, dusty sandals, deliberate shifts to degrade. Crowd jeered, slipped multiple times. At top, whipped till he fell, leg snapped. Dragged to master. Forced to crawl, beg. I am a worm, crucified after. Post-Spartacus. 6,000 crosses, Appian Way, months of rot. Deterrent worked, no major revolts for decades. Elite women, caelestium of shame. Claudia Terentia, adulteress, mock priestess robe. Temple, deliberate ritual errors, wrong incense, backward prayers. Laughter. Then served slaves at banquet, crude jokes, groping. Hints of forced pairings, thrown from Tarpeian rock. Pudicitia obliterated. Post-mortem, damnatio memoriae. Emperor Domitian assassinated 96 CE. Senate decreed memory erasure. Statues smashed, heads rolled in streets. Name chiseled from inscriptions, visible gaps today. Effigy paraded upside down, burned with trash. Family forbidden mourning. Corpses of enemies exhumed, mutilated, scattered, no burial, eternal unrest. Animal-linked absurdity, mule parade. Titus Gracchus, minor official, embezzled to pay gambling debts. Stripped, painted chalk white. Sign, I stole from the temples. Backwards on mule, forced to bray, pelted with filth. Children competed in accuracy, released but socially dead, left Rome forever. These rituals, tunica molesta, cullius, arena farces, subigo, servile ladder, caelestium, damnatio, mule parade, weren't random cruelty. They were precision-engineered social surgery. They punished, deterred, entertained, hierarchized, and unified. Rome didn't fear death. They feared social death. A flogged senator chose suicide. A crucified slave's spirit broke before the nails. A damned emperor vanished from history. Modern society claims superiority. No arenas, no crucifixions. But we have mugshot sites, sex offender registries, viral cancellations, forced public apologies. Same psychology, destroy reputation, destroy existence. Romans perfected it. We just digitized it. The Forum stones remember. Marcus crawled there. Gaius was bagged there. Davus fell there. Tourists walk over bloodstains, admiring architecture, oblivious to the screams etched into the pavement. History isn't just triumphs and aqueducts, it's the systematic annihilation of human identity in broad daylight. If this script shook you, prove it, smash like, share with one friend, subscribe with notifications. Comment, would you survive Roman shame, or choose the blade like Marcus? Tell me your culture's shame rituals. Drop your city. Let's discuss honor, cruelty, and what it means to be human when society decides you're not. The stones are listening. So am I. See you in the next one.